Hello, hello, hello. Hi. I want to come again. This is Amber McCray, your lucrative insurance strategist, and I'm here today with another gem dropping tip for our hair loss businesses and also for clients experiencing hair loss. So, um, while we're waiting for people to tap in, I just want to go over, who I am and what it is that I do when it comes to my clients and when it comes to beauty professionals. So, I am your lucrative insurance strategist, Amber McCray. I actually help beauty professionals convert their salons to medical hair loss facilities. So we see a lot of these topics and a lot of these things that we go over. They're going to be tips on, how to really maximize your profits when it comes to this, and not only maximize your profits as a beauty professional, but you're going to help maximize the reimbursements that clients can get for their hair loss services. So on the hair loss client side, I am the owner of Healthy Hair Solutions Corp in Augusta, Georgia. I do work with clients virtually as well, and my goal there is to help individuals who are experiencing alopecia find the answers to their hair loss through organic solutions and hair replacement alternatives. So hair loss is really a very heartfelt industry for me. It's a heartfelt topic. I really am passionate about helping the people who are dealing with alopecia or hair loss of any sort. And there's just so many resources that's out there that a lot of times we may not know. And I want you guys to be able to benefit from it and do get the perks that come with this industry. So not only in this industry, but also if you're getting that service, we're as a client, we're dealing with hair loss. You're like, hey, what can I do to get some help? And I want you to be able to one identify what facilities or hair salons or hair loss clinics are actually working with you guys. So you're gonna always, every time you tap in, you'll hear just different things that we should be presenting to you guys, or even like just even our aesthetics, or what services are available. So clients, you all are able to benefit from this as well. But for my beauty pros, you already know I'm gonna come in with some tips that you can do to make sure that you're helping your clients that you are currently working with. All right. If you are jumping in the chat, if you are jumping onto this live, I want to make sure that you are putting live in the chat, put hashtag live, let me know that you're here. And also let me know, are you a client or are you a beauty professional? So put hashtag beauty professional, put hashtag client, just put your title, because guys, it's another way to get you out there, because we want to know who's actually doing these hair loss services. So without further ado, I like to go ahead and jump on in, because I'm actually in between services right now. I had did some clients earlier, so I was like, oh goodness, I need to hop back on. But our sales will go live today, and that's what we're gonna do. So today's topic, I want to go into what are some strategies for streamlining insurance into your hair loss businesses. Okay, strategies for streamlining insurance in your hair loss business. So what does that mean? So first, let me get first things first. What is a hair loss business? So a hair loss business is any beauty professional or professional who is specializing in doing hair loss services. So you do have surgical hair replacement, where you see, doctors, they have to have a medical degree to be able to um, do the cutting into the scalp. So you do have surgical hair replacement. You have individuals like myself that offer non-surgical hair replacement services, where we actually, use commercial hair that we attach to your areas of hair loss that actually appears if it's growing out of the scalp. Okay, if you're not sure what that looks like, you can go on my page. I have a lot of before and after, so you can see, that we actually use cranial prosthetics or other hair replacement techniques to be able to do that. And then also you have trichologists or hair loss practitioners who actually help you guys who are looking to restore your hair and actually grow your hair out from the scalp. But grow your own hair back. And so I actually work with that as well. But I have a lot of colleagues and just fellow beauty professionals that do the same thing. So these are the different things you're looking for when you're actually trying to get your hair back. On a cosmetology side, well, so they do need to still be cosmetologists, but you can find, there are going to be situations where you may find that maybe the person's background is more in those certifications and they might not have that. But you're going to see just a different setting, a different environment, a different aesthetic when you're dealing with those type of services. Okay, usually a little more private. You may have to do consultations first when you actually talk with hair loss professionals. So clients, those are the steps that you want to look for when you're inquiring about your hair loss services, and just kind of see what is that beauty professional's protocol when they're dealing with hair loss. Okay, sometimes some beauty professionals still doing regular services, but when they're dealing with their hair loss clients, it's a scheduled time to make sure, not just to make the situation difficult, the process difficult, but we want to make sure that you're getting that specialized time for you, and it's more private in a private setting. But as you all know, the thing that is actually built to insurance is cranial prosthesis. Well, you probably know it if you look at my other live. You check out my old lives, you'll know that the service that is actually billable to insurance that we deal with is a durable medical equipment supply, which is a cranial prosthesis. Okay, cranial prosthesis. So when we say, hey, we're ready to start accepting insurance, the biggest thing that you want to know first is what is actually covered when it comes to streamlining insurance. So, like I said, the thing is cranial prosthesis. So, for those who are offering non-surgical hair replacement, or medical wigs, or like even, like I say, more medical wigs, and we say medical wigs because they actually have caps that come in a medical wig design, or if you're using this wig for medical purposes because the person is dealing with medical hair loss, these are the people we are looking to, that are actually able to be billed to insurance. And most times, if you're dealing with hair loss anyway, even though you have not been to your doctor necessarily, maybe you don't have that on your profile. If you're dealing with hair loss, you can go to your doctor and get that diagnosis, so it is on your medical profile. So we can work with it for insurance. So today, when we go into the strategies for streamlining insurance in your business, I want to just name a few things that you can do. Now, if you're a client who, maybe you're not working with a hair loss professional yet, what you could do to make sure that insurance is actually going to be able to cover you before you go to the hair loss professional is, one, you want to make sure, like I say, go to that doctor. You want to get a diagnosis and get a prescription. Okay, so now you've done your part before going to a hair loss, professional. You could take this prescription to that beauty professional, or to a hair loss professional, and say, hey, you know what? I have this on my profile already. I'm looking to come to you for hair loss services or offer that durable medical equipment supply. Okay, so that is that. So you're going to that supplier to get the supply for that prescription. The way you could correlate or make it easy, make it more relatable. When you get a prescription, you go to a pharmacy. So when you get this prescription, you got to go to a durable medical equipment supplier that can provide that procedure that you need, which I'd say in this case would be non-surgical hair replacement. Now, there are two ways that hair loss businesses can actually streamline insurance in their business. Some beauty professionals, some hair loss professionals, barbers, we know, like, hey, I want to accept insurance, because if you're doing hair loss, if you're doing hair loss services, there's no reason not to have this available to your clients. Okay, if you're doing hair loss, yes, okay, my clients pay out cash, I get it, or my clients are finance, yeah, I get that too. But we're almost doing them an injustice not to offer what they actually qualify for. Something like, say, insurance, we have medical insurance, we're paying these deductibles, we're paying these premiums. So I mean, we're fulfilling these deductibles, we're paying these premiums. So I feel like the least we could do is be able to give our clients a guide on what they can do. So here's something you could do. If you're a person like, okay, I don't really want to go through the insurance credentialing process, but I do want to let my clients know, hey, I accept insurance. Okay, one thing that you can do is actually go to your client and go to your have your client, do the service. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and do the service. The client goes ahead and pay for the service. Okay, and what you could do, you can actually write up an invoice, or when you give them a receipt, make sure that receipt says that you did a cranial prosthesis or a medical wig, so one of those prosthetics. So we're covering prosthetics, so I like to put the word prosthesis in it because you're a prosthetic, that's the service that's covered, the prosthetic, the supply. Okay, you would put that on that receipt, and you'll make sure that the client can take it to their insurance company, and then they can work with their insurance company and actually get reimbursement back directly to them through member services. So there is a number on the back of your card. You have this medical card that you work with. Look on the back of that card, call that member services and say, hey, can I get reimbursement? Now, if you're a person who is truly waiting to see if insurance is going to cover, don't go get that service done. Talk to your insurance company before you go, and make sure that you're asking them for specifically that code A9282. We talked about this a lot on one of my lives. Make sure that you use that code A9282, because you may have coverage for durable medical equipment, but you may not have coverage for that supply of that A9282. So make sure you ask specifically for that. So that's for my clients. And once you get that information, once you get the service done from your hair loss professional, you can take get that receipt and take it to your insurance company and do what you're going to do. And the same thing you could do, you can also do this with your HSA accounts as well, the FSA accounts, but that's a whole nother, it's another topic for another live. But definitely for insurance, that is how, as a hair loss professional, or somebody who's doing non-surgical hair replacement, somebody that's doing trichological services, somebody who's doing hair restoration, this is a way to streamline insurance into your business. And if you want to make it easy for your client, you could put it out there. You may come up with some type of protocol to give them instructions on how to do that. And that's the easiest way to do it, okay? And that's actually something that people have been doing, okay? That's actually how a lot of businesses who say they accept insurance when it comes to hair loss, that is the way they've been doing it. Now, the other way that you can streamline insurance in your hair loss business is actually become a listed provider with the insurance company. And when you become a listed provider with the insurance company, you can actually do billing, your own billing in your office for these clients. Okay. Now, me personally, I like this side of it for multiple reasons. One of my biggest reasons of why I decided to be my own provider for my facility is because, I mean, it's a better, it's a nice status. Like, hey, my facility is actually credentialed as a provider, and I'm listed with other medical providers. Okay, that's the first perk. Secondly, I sometimes, when you're working with your clients, I didn't really trust that my clients may actually do all that paperwork of, hey, getting their receipt, going to the insurance company. Now I said, now that I think back on it, I probably could have directed them a little bit more, but I have control. I have a control thing going on. I don't know, or management thing. So my biggest thing was like, hey, let me do it. Let me find a way to streamline this process so I don't even have to call them and follow up. So the way to do that was to become a provider. All right. And like I said, for those who are tuning in, I want y'all to like say hey, say hey, put that you're joining in live, put hashtag live in the chat so we know that you're here. And if you're catching the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay. We just want to know who's engaged, okay? And for those of you who are like, you know what, I need some help on this. I want to be able to do this too. Put ready in the chat. Make sure you put ready in the chat, and we can tell you how to really get this strategy, these strategies put into your business. So, like I was saying, so we become a provider. You actually can do the billing yourself. So you get credentialed. You got to do the credentialing yourself. All right, that's the first thing. Then you got to actually do the you get credentialed, you get the status of being a listed provider, and then you can actually enroll with their billing systems that they can do and bill it yourself. And then when you bill it yourself, that means you can actually get the checks yourself. The money comes directly to you. All right. Okay, ready. All right. So we're gonna make sure we get that information to you. So like I said, if you put ready in the chat, we will teach you guys how to actually do this for those who want to go to that level. If you want to be a listed provider, the perks are way higher. Okay, to doing that, because like I said, you get the money directly to you. That you actually can get or have it directly deposited into your account, and now you can actually pretty much do the management of getting your order in and all that stuff because you know the process. And honestly, guys, insurance companies work pretty good. If you're a provider, it's almost like you're a staff member with this company now. So of course, insurance companies are going to work more in depth with you because they're holding your hand now. Like, oh, okay, well, he or she has done the steps to actually get affiliated with us. So now I can talk more directly to the insurance company. Now, if something is looking crazy on somebody's profile, or maybe there's something getting appealed, I can actually kind of go in there, just have more access to this person's profile and see, what is going on that they're not getting coverage. And so, but when you're not a provider with these companies, if you just like file and you're an out of provider network, or not, I'm not even gonna say out of provider network, because out of network provider is actually a status. But if you're just one of those, let's say I'm a beauty professional and I just decided, okay, somebody brought me a prescription, I see this claim, I'm going to just file a claim. You're not going to get any feedback from the insurance companies. They're going to, it's going to be like null and void. It's going to just be a piece of paper, a piece of mail that's just stuck in their mailbox. Okay. I mean, sitting on their desk. They're not going to acknowledge you like that. But when you have taken that time to get some type of affiliation, build some type of relationship. You guys, y'all know how big your relationships are. We have relationships with banks, we have relationships with our friends, relationships with our clients, relationships with our family. When you have a relationship with the insurance company, you have a better chance of getting your claim covered, and now that money could be sent to you because they have some type of trusting relationship with you to send you some type of funding for your clients. So That is why I say, there are two ways. That first way is, hey, you're a facility and you're just going to work on giving your clients the steps to actually just going to take that receipt to that insurance company, or you can become a provider and actually be a provider that will become a listed provider, and you could do the claims yourself and get the payment back yourself. There are pros and cons of both, but one con that I would say when you're waiting for your clients to do it, if it's a client that you just didn't know, you want to, well, okay, I'll say the pros and cons to both options. Pros for actually getting into the network. Well, pros and cons for letting your client do the flag work. Pro, of course, you don't have to do all that paperwork to be listed as a provider. Another pro is you don't have to, keep your account up to date, your all your addresses and things that we're supposed to do as a business anyway. But that's a pro. That's a pro. You don't have to worry about all the extra paperwork. You don't have to take the time after work to go do any claim submissions or anything like that. So those are the pros. The cons are, if this is a client that you didn't really know, okay, this is a client that you didn't really know, if they go get that reimbursement back, who's to say they'll bring it back to you? So if that's a person that's waiting for their insurance to actually cover, and you've actually don't, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, do not do the service if you haven't received any payment. Just don't do that. That's just not wise to do. But as a con would be, let's say if you did, you're like, hey, I gave you that receipt so we could just see what covers. They might get the information and decide, hey, I don't want to come back to you like that. Okay, so those are the pros and cons when it comes to actually being that hair loss facility who, when you're a hair loss facility, I just give my clients the receipts and I'm going to just have them go to the insurance company themselves and do that footwork. Or like I say, even the following up process can be a con as well. Like, I'm having to remind them to go get their reimbursement. Now, the pros and cons to actually being a listed provider and actually being able to do your own billing. The first pro is you can do your own billing. Okay. The money comes directly to you. The second pro is you get a nice medical status. Okay, you're actually a durable medical equipment supplier. Okay, that allows you to be listed with other beauty professionals. I mean, other doctors. So you have a nice medical status. Okay, you're able to work with more facilities because you have done that affiliation. You can show that you are also accepting insurances that they accept. And another pro is, like I said, you're not having to do the back and forth with your client. You're actually talking directly to the insurance company. So you have access to talk directly to the insurance company and just kind of get answers. Now, some cons would be, like I said, it is some paperwork. It takes a little bit more time to get credentialed. It does take a little bit more time to go home and like after work, after you've done clients all day, to go do claims. But hey, we tell you guys how to fit that in your schedule. That doesn't have to be a hard process. And pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much the main cons. Like I said, and dealing with denials, you might have to go back and forth with that. So communicate with that client to go get the paperwork, the clinical paperwork that they need to come back. But when we're streamlining the process, when I say streamline, we have found a way in our curriculum to truly, well, it sounds hard when you don't have training. Let me put it like that. It sounds hard when you don't have training, but if you are looking to find a way to streamline it and somebody take out all the little hiccups that come with getting with the insurance process, I do have a program which is a Seamless Academy. Can I add myself as a medical facility at the same address as the doctor's office I work in? Yes, you can, because you can easily change the address. Yep. So you actually can, whatever address, whatever your service location is, that's the address you need to use, and that will not affect anything. Having the same address as another doctor, because they're actually used to a lot of doctors coming in that way and having the same address, but they all have different NPIs. Okay. Hello, hello. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. So if you are an individual who is like, hey, I want to learn how to really apply these strategies into my hair loss business, how can I do that so it doesn't sound so hard or so complicating? Guys, the biggest thing is working with a coach or a mentor that's going to walk you through it. And I can tell you and I can assure you that Amber McCray is your girl. All right. I have done it for my own business multiple times, and I've been able to do it for other beauty professionals. Just like at this point, I don't know what the number is, but I'm saying dozens. We have dozens of other beauty professionals be able to achieve these results. One, by getting them credentialed. Two, actually getting their portal set up so they can have all this direct access to check patient eligibility, do their own claim submissions, and now they can actually get their reimbursement back, get their checks back into their own pockets so they can put it into their business instead of having to wait for somebody to bring it back to them. Okay. So If that is something that you are looking to, put the ready in the chat. We'll make sure that we get some information to you on how you could go about getting some training or take advantage of our tools that will tell you how to do this and streamline this process in your business way easier. Okay. We take out all the fluff. We take out because when you look at these applications, we're not medical providers, we're not doctors. We didn't go to medical billing school. I tell people this all the time. We didn't go to medical billing school. We didn't go to medical coding school. We didn't go to medical school. And honestly, like doctors, they don't even have to worry about this because doctors pay another team to do that. Okay. So somewhere in it, you have to learn how to do this so you'll know how to hire people if you need to do that, or how to add a third party that's going to do your process and your claims. But the way we teach it, anybody could do it themselves. And I work with all learning styles, and it's all about us getting it in a language that we can understand from a beauty professional or barbering perspective. We have to get it in our language so we can get it and take out that fluff for you. And if you're looking for somebody to do that translating for you, I'm that person for you. I need to get organized and credentialed with more insurance companies. Yes, it does take some organization, but we got you. We got you. We can do this with you. You don't have to do it by yourself. Because when you're doing it by yourself, guys, and I know because I've done it myself, it took me like something that I know I could get somebody in a 90-day time period. It took me years because I'm like, all the trial and error, not knowing what to ask at first, not realizing what application was my application. That y'all want to believe how many denials I got first before I figured out, oh no, this is the path we got to take, and this is what we're going to do for each of these companies. And once I got that going, oh, we just going. It's effortless to get into a company now. And we want that same process for you. So in our course, even though we teach you guys how to get into, some of the main companies, you take those same techniques and you're going to apply it to your companies for your own business, for your own area. You can get into the companies for your area. And we want to show you how to do that. And it's not cookie cutter, but it's cookie cutter. If as long as you have those list of provider requirements fulfilled, you're gonna take that same list and apply it to each company. And then some companies may ask for one thing more or one thing less, but it's those same steps that you're gonna make sure you have, and it's not gonna be unfamiliar to you when you hear that. All right, we make sure that you have the resources that you need. We have a textbook curriculum that shows all the steps for getting credentialed with insurance companies, and we also make sure that you have video modules. You have the verbal coaching where we actually meet and teach you guys how we walk you through the steps on our coaching calls, and we also make sure that you have access to any replays that we've done if you happen to miss those calls. Okay. So downloadable templates and all the templates that I was talking about, needing the request for those prescriptions, requesting for that letter of medical necessity, all of that is there, and you don't have to create it. Okay. Why create it? When somebody's saying, here's a template, just use this, change your name, put your logo on it. Bam. That's how easy I want it to be. Okay. So I want to thank you guys for jumping on. If you are doing hair loss services, you need to be accepting insurance. It's just a credibility that you just need to have. Okay. If you're doing hair loss services, do not leave. It's not so much about leaving that money on the table, but don't leave your clients hanging like that where they can't even go request reimbursement back because you just don't know what to tell them. All right. So we need to be informed as beauty professionals, especially when we're tapping into a field such as hair loss. And we want to be able to inform our clients so they can know what to do as well. All right. So thank you guys for joining. I would say we will be in touch with you. If you are catching the replay, please put hashtag replay. And I hope to talk with all of you soon.